Okay, so hello everybody, and but I can also say in different languages like "Hola todas" or "De chao how," but I'm not used to speaking Spanish. I'm not. Now, guys, I know now you can see is yeah, I'm not used to speaking Spanish or Mandarin, but I'm just saying them the best I can. I'm used to. I know I'm still used to speaking only English because that's just well that's how I was raised anyway. But it's just yeah, it's gonna be time to learn more, to speak more languages, just speak more than just one language, fluently. But anyway, but today I'm going to talk about something. Today's video is called "What is Bible say about the Ice Age?" Now, why I'm calling it the Ice Age instead of saying Ice Ages because because evolutionists believe there was a lot of ice ages. I don't know how many ice ages I think they believe there's a lot of them, but the Bible teaches that there's probably about only one ice age. But why? But why do they believe that? I don't know. But I believe evolutionists. I think believe there was times when the Earth was a snowball Earth. I don't know why they believe that, but and do you think there's evidence that the Earth was a snowball? Uh, I don't know. To me, my answer is probably not. Anyway, I think this is what the Earth looked like when it had an ice age. So was the Earth ever a snowball? I don't think so. I think I don't think so. No. I think the Earth looked like this when it had the ice age. And you can see is my home country, United States of America, wasn't covered in ice at all. It's just Canada that's covered in ice. And what's the other ones? You see, Africa's not covered in ice either. Never done, and neither did the West Asia either. India wasn't covered in ice. China wasn't covered in ice either. I bet Russia was covered in ice though, and I do believe that this part of Europe was. There was some ice in Australia, and there's some ice in New Zealand. And Antarctica was all full of ice. Yeah, basically, I believe this is what the Earth looked like when it had an ice age. And look what happened. Because if you want to take a look right here, I'm not entirely sure where the Tower of Babel is, but I think the Tower of Babel is somewhere over here. So that if the Tower of Babel was here and people have to go to North America, people have to go to across, I'm just say, this Middle East region, go past India, past China, and then go to Russia, and then go all the way to North America. I think that's how it happened. And South America. Okay, and I know these people were called Native Americans. And I know, and I know Christopher Columbus mistaken them of calling them Indians because he thought he was India, but he wasn't anyway. He was North America. Yeah, I know, but people have been here. So yes, do saying people have been here way before Christopher Columbus discovered North America. Anyway, North America has been filled with, I know, both North America and South America have been filled with people probably for thousands of years. After probably, and it's probably started during the Ice Age. That's what I believe. I don't know what languages Native Americans spoke, though. That is a good question right there, but that is something you might have to learn and find out, too, because I don't know. Let me take a look on Google. Because I thought that one of them could be Navajo, but I don't know. I don't know Navajo was spoken during that time either. The Native American languages, because the Native American languages, okay? Because there's many of them, I think. Okay, so there's Cherokee. Cherokee is one of them. Yes. Navajo. Navajos are one of them. Yes. Ato Aztecan languages. Ojibwe. Okay, and Choctaw, Zani, Silian, Akan. Okay, Algonquian languages, and okay, Inuktitut, Maria Carius language, Kavus, Mayan. Yeah, there's a language called Mayan. There's Sioux. Okay, Yupik peoples. Chinook, Jargon, Astagnut. Okay, Escalute languages. Shoshone. Okay, Nahoti. Iroquoian. What? Okay. Sorry. Wake, Cashin, Arawak. Okay. Cadone, and Haida are some examples of Native American languages. And those are examples of Native American languages. Okay? I'm just trying to look up on Google because I don't know. I'm just looking them up. Okay? And these are languages that were been spoken before we have English and Spanish and Mandarin spoken in this country. I know this is before we have other languages spoken in this country, like English and Spanish and French and Mandarin and some other languages. I'm just are spoken in this in the America continent. Okay, so that's talking about North and South America. Now, it is true about us talk about Europe and Africa and Asia mostly. Yeah. Yeah, and to me, I guess, during the Ice Age, the United Kingdom was, well, I know the land of the United Kingdom still existed. It's that it was covered in ice during that time. So you can see the United Kingdom was covered in ice during the Ice Age. But the land of the United Kingdom probably still existed back then. It probably wasn't. I'm not sure when. I'm not sure when the United Kingdom ever was ever a country back then. But I know. But back then, but I know that back then it was covered in ice. So, and here's Spain right here. Well, Spain right here. That's still Portugal right there. I know the Bible talks about Egypt a lot. That's Egypt. And there's Israel. And the Bible talks about India in the book of Esther. So, and I already talked about India, well, probably a bunch of times already, about Hinduism and Buddhism. I probably might talk more about it of other religions. If there's any other religions that started in India, and then and there's some people in the Tower of Babel also fled to China as well. Yes, I believe China did have a history of going back to the Tower of Babel, even though the name China itself is not found in the Bible. Well, it doesn't have to be in the Bible. Well, the name China does not have to be in the Bible anyway. It doesn't. I just know that I have a history going back. I just know that I just know that I had a history going back to the Tower of Babel because, I learned about a little bit about its history. A little bit, but not much anyway. Yeah, too bad. Yeah, too bad. Too bad Chinese dictator Xi Jinping made China now a humongous North Korea. But I'll get to that maybe in a different video. Right now I'm talking about the Ice Age. So as you can see is now the people fled all the way to Australia. Well, and I know here's Russia right here. So this would be the fled to Russia as well. But how did people fled from here to Australia? From the Tower of Babel. Well, they had to walk to Australia, right here, all the way to here. Now, the problem is that what the evidence is trying to tell me is that there's some animals that can even walk to Australia. What about the koalas and I believe and stuff, and those animals are probably so slow. Well, I don't know why the evolutionists try to believe that. You think we think we walk from here all the way to Australia? Even the kangaroos came. Hopped already from here all the way to Australia. Well, I'm not even sure. Okay, first of all, I think God made the koalas walk from West Asia to Australia. Okay? God can do that, first of all. God can do it. God can put any animal to wherever he wants to put them. Okay? God is all powerful, first of all. Okay? Where you try to limit God, where you try to limit what God wants to do. First of all, why you try to limit First of all, why are you trying to limit God on what things he wants to do with animals. Okay. First of all, you're not God. Okay. So stop limiting him. Okay. And if you don't want to accept him as your savior, well, just stop limiting on God and just and deal with the fact that he is all powerful. Okay, because God's all powerful, okay? Now, there are some things that God can't do, okay? Like, God can't lie, and he can't sin. And I know why he can't do those things, because he's God, that's why. Yeah. Now, another thing is, another thing is, the birds, right? So how did, yeah, now what about the penguins? Well, there's some I do believe penguins probably went from here to Antarctica, but they probably have to walk there, though. If it was covered in ice, probably the water was covered in ice too, So, and I believe this is what the Earth looked like when it had an ice age. So, to me, was the Earth a snowball? My answer is no. I don't think it was. I don't think the Earth was ever a snowball, but I do believe that the Earth had an ice age, though. So today I'm going to read to you about the Ice Age of biblical history. Now, if you want to hear the audio version of this, you can hear this yourself if you want to. I'm not going to put it on because I might get a copyright from YouTube. That's why. I'm just going to read it to you. If you want to hear it from this audio here, you can if you want to. I'll put a link in the description box below if you want to read this to yourself or hear it if you want to. But this is talking about the Ice Age in biblical history. It's just okay. Today I'm going to talk about the Ice Age, okay? Okay, so the Bible doesn't, so right here it says, the Bible doesn't say, and then there was an Ice Age. Yet it does give us a big picture of human history, as well as some critical details, which help us narrow down the ice built up and then melted away. And as note, biblical creationists have not reached consensus on one Ice Age model. This article represents one view. Differences between the models have no major bearing the overall time scale of a straightforward reading scriptures, i.e., the flood of Genesis chapter 6, which occurred roughly 4,300 years ago, brought one major ice age that lasted a few hundred years. Just down the road from Cincinnati, in the north central USA, of Big Bone Lick, the cradle of American paleontology, the discoverer of huge bones, mastodons, giant sloths, and other Ice Age creatures, sparked from the scientific expedition to collect vertebrate fossils in North America. In 1807, President Thomas Jefferson said General William Clark of Lewis Clark and Clark fame to gather bones and ship them to the White House. Among the treasures Clark found were spear points. After 2 centuries of research, now we have enough information recreating a sense of the rise and fall of the Ice Age. It's a massive ice sheet expanded over Canada, and it drove out most living things, and then it would continue to push south into the Ohio Valley. Eventually, the heavy snows stopped when the earth warmed. Once the ice began to melt, envelopes returned to Big Bone Lick, along with spear-wielding humans museums. Rewind depict similar scenes from this unique era. But this is still difficult to predict, the Earth's dynamic past based on present slow processes. During Ice Age, the Earth's landscapes, forests, grasslands, bore little resemblance to our own. Indeed, the thick ice sheets drew so much water out of the oceans, and large tracts of the ocean floor became dry ground. Herds of animals wander across 1,000-mile wide grassy plain and stretched from Asia across the Bering Strait to North America, and people actually lived in the lowlands between England and Europe. Fishermen in the North Sea sometimes dredge up their stone tools, which look similar to those who found at Big Bone Lick. Many pieces of the Ice Age puzzle remain unsolved, but one thing is sure: based on the Bible, it can be certain that the changes occur within just a few human generations, not over millions of years. What follows is only a benchmark based on our starting parameters. When did the Ice Age begin? The Bible gives us many clues to help us nail down real time frame of the Ice Age. For example, when did it begin? Bible fact: 8 generations from the flood to Abraham. The Bible gives us an narrative chronologically for making historical events. It tells us exactly how many human generations passed from the flood to Abraham's birth, 8. God's judgment occurred at Babel sometime during the days of Peleg, and it was the 4th generation after the flood. Genesis chapter 10 verse 25, and see timeline below. And you can read all this and plus you can read all these in the King James Bible anyway. So the Bible reveals some humanity's stated plans around Babel until the Lord scattered them abroad all over the face of the earth. Genesis chapter 11, verse 9. This means that at least 3 generations passed between the flood and the first appearance of humans in Africa, Asia, and Europe. Meanwhile, the animals on the ark had already fulfilled God's command to abound on earth and be fruitful and multiply. Yeah, just after 8 verse 17. The Bible tells us precisely how many years passed the Peleg's birth to Abraham's birth. According to the most often used Hebrew version of the Old Testament, the Mosaic test, the total is 190 years. Each generation lasted about 30 years until Abraham's father, Terah, and he waited 70 years to have children. And you could say he waited 2 generations and make a total of either 5 or 6 generations from Babel to Abraham. With this information, we can have an approximate date for the start of the Ice Age. Geological fact: growth of Arctic ice sheets. The Ice Age was a formal expression. It was necessary to define the term before discussing its timeline. The secular thinking of the Ice Age does not refer to the first formation of the Ice Age on the planet. Indeed, forests grow on Antarctica and the Arctic before the Ice Age began to form. Drilling down through the Antarctica's ice sheet, scientists have found the sediment layers beneath the ice sheet fossils and the subtropical rainforest, complete with palm trees and macadamia trees. For these to grow land and have to be frost-free for a brief time after the flood. As the Earth cooled, however, grasslands expanded on the continent. Wait a minute. Okay, while the forests changed from deciduous trees and tundra, finally the whole continent was covered by ice, which marked the beginning of the post-flood cool-down and the old Earth view. All this took place. Yeah, evolutionists believe that all this took place millions of years before the Ice Age without a global flood. That's the old Earth view. Alright. The Ice Age actually refers only to a period when the great ice sheets arose in the northern hemisphere. What after the Antarctic ice sheet had formed, see above map. The deposits from this time period, caused by moving ice and melting waters, are typically known as the Pleistocene. According to old age assumptions about radiometric dating, deposits were laid between 2.6 million years and 11,700 years ago. 9,700 BC. As term Ice Age, is used science publications. Its end does not refer to the melting of the ice sheet. Ice sheets. But the rising world temperatures that started the dramatic relative retreat of the ice. This range is not currently this range is not clearly accurate because it lies outside the Bible's total timeline of 6,000 years. Several lines of evidence support the choice of Pleistocene layers for the Ice Age. Anywhere that these layers are attested by the radiometric dating, the ages fall within this range. Also, the plants and animals associated with these layers fit the Pleistocene. Indeed, the woolly mammoth. Okay, Mom, I'll do it. Okay, Mom, I'll do that soon. Now there's plenty of genes, so 72 cat. There's seen as the original elephant kinds of the ark, and there's layers up to just end the time frame of Russian Island. See why Ice Age animals were so big. Page 86. This is how the first elephant cat kinds on the ark were produced during the Ice Age. Okay, well I have to help my mom with something, so I'll be right back, guys. Okay, guys, I'm back. Okay, I'm done with helping mom with the clothes now. So now I'll go back to what I was talking. I'll go back to what I was reading. So okay, a part of Antarctica, a few high mountain chain sediments responsible for the Ice Age, does not show signs of cold weather environments or seismic activity. Indeed, the world appears to have been partly helmets until the Ice Age. Knowing these things, how can we use humans to describe the Bible to shed light on the Ice Age's beginning? Well, for one thing, no human tools or fossils appear anywhere on the Earth until deposits in the beginning of Ice Age. God appears to have wiped away all the remains of the pre-flood man. See Genesis 6 verse 7. Yeah, you can read that. I know, and plus you can read that in the you can read that in the King James Bible. Let's just keep reading anyway. Since the earliest remains of the appear of the Old World, Asia, Africa, and Europe, it appears that these people are scattered from Babel. It is reasonable to include the start of the Ice Age on Hemisphere, Pleistocene, and roughly occurs within the Babel judgment around the century or so after the flood, perhaps either 2250 BC, or I believe, or it could be a lot earlier than that, since I believe it was a lot earlier than that, but, anyway, but let's keep reading. God knows perhaps the Ice Age was part of God's plan to keep people from quickly resettling in one place again. A particular climate would have made it difficult for anyone to settle down in. Seasonal crops in the years immediately following Babel's dispersion. So when did the Ice Age end? The Bible sheds some light on the Ice Age's end, though in an indirect way. If we can determine the dates of first cities built after Babel, including R and then show the relationship with dates, the last human animal remains the Ice Age, which demonstrates approximately when the Ice Age ended. Bible fact: thriving cities by Abraham's day. The Bible mentions some very important cities were established by Abraham's day and continued to thrive throughout Old Testament times. For instance, the city of Abraham's nativity was Ur, Genesis 11, verse 28. Abraham later passed through many other cities in Mesopotamia, modern Iraq and Syria, Canaan, and Egypt. Since Abraham grew up in Ur, we know that it must have been founded before his birth. Another important clue of his Bible's reference several familiar domesticated animals such as camels, oxen, and donkeys, which Abraham and his contemporaries owned. These domestic animals are not the same species as Ice Age fossils of the same created kinds, and they do not appear until the cities were well established. The camels were found early in the fossil record and were not anything you want to ride. It appears most of the wild versions of the beast were extinct by Abraham's time, along with the Pleistocene mammals, like wild horses in the Americas. Archaeological fact: no city is associated with Ice Age remains. The fossil and archaeological record offers us a phenomenal wealth of data from thousands and thousands of sites on every continent. The case after case of radiocarbon dating confirms a general pattern, while the radiocarbon ages are wrong because they exceed a Bible's timeline, but the ages were useful doing some of the dates. 40,000 common years, assuming that's a 20,000 or 5,000. We know the first find is older than the second, and so on. Radiocarbon dating shows that every fossil from the Ice Age predates anything from the earliest known human settlements. Several cities have been continuously inhabited since Abraham's day, so it's not likely that it were just missing evidence. Many large animals specifically designed for cold weather went extinct when the Ice Age ended. In a period time known as Ice Age extinction event, see Mystery of the Megafauna extinction. We have also able to date human fossils, other remains from the earliest human settlements around the world. In no case in these settlements, including Ur, date as early as in the Ice Age. And at the time, earliest Ur settlement was part of the port city on the Persian Gulf, but this Gulf did not even exist during the Ice Age. Only later did the melting ice sheet raise the ocean enough to flood into the area and fill the Gulf. What were people doing during the Ice Age? Archaeologists have found themselves campsites of small settlements where no citizens lived after the Babel dispersion during the Ice Age. These early pioneers explorers settled quickly, reaching as far as Australia and the Americas. Everywhere they went, they found familiar plants, weather cycles, soils, and wild animals. Cast off from the prepared life of the city, tiny bands they invent of whole new ways of doing things, including living off the land while caring for their children. Okay, now Bible fact. The earth is settled. The Bible does not reveal how much about the biology and geology of the Ice Age, but it does tell us about the languages and culture and migrations of the people of that time. They began as united people with one language and capable of accomplishing great feats. Chapter 11, verse 6, but recognized the danger of unity without obedience of his word. So he scared the people from Babel. twice above repeats that the Lord scattered abroad from there over the face of the earth. Chapter 11, verse 8 and 9. Notice that this wasn't Lord's doing. This supernatural event was of a proper understanding of human history. Yeah, well, God's written word, archaeologists have no way of knowing this happened. Ornithological fact have no brief appearance in Neanderthals, woolly mammoths, and Stone Age villages. The fossil of archaeology record gives a wealth of amazing detail about the creatures and Noah's descendants met in the places where they lived. Various species of the saber-toothed cat, such as Lundin and appearing as the Ice Age, got underway in the areas first developed by humans. The woolly mammoth, Matthias primigenius, did not appear until later, but as the cold increased and grasslands spread across northern Asia and North America, its numbers quickly filled the grassy plains. Humans soon followed in their steps. Another interesting development during the Ice Age was the appearance of Neanderthal people, whose range was restricted to Europe and Near East. Like all the humans, they were descendants of people who scattered from Babel. Their remains do not appear until the middle of the Ice Age, and they disperse as the glaciers reach their maximum and the cold, dry weather reached its worst. Their short, squat bodies were better suited for the cold than taller, thinner bodies and their contemporaries. The Cro-Magnon people, the other descendants of Babel people, who looked like us, Neanderthals, used to have heavy spears and to hunt woodland animals, but these woods began dispersing the light of the Ice Age and be replaced by grasslands and barren tundra. The Cro-Magnon, the contrast made finely crafted arrows and other weapons enabled them to hunt more easily on the open plains. A vast number of the Cro-Magnon campsites and fossils indicate these men and women were more successful adapting to the changes. Sometime after the demise of the Neanderthal people, the first Stone Age villages began to appear over the old world, and we find them by thousands of the instances, spread over several acres, apparently predating any cities we know of. It is hard to imagine such extreme changes in weather, landscapes, and vegetation during the rapid Ice Age in the years that followed. Some lush places in the north were stricken by drought and by monsoons filled the Sahara Desert lakes and grasslands, attracting rhinoceroses, crocodiles, and human settlers. For a time at the end of the Ice Age, the drench of the Nile Valley was not even habitable, at least. No human artifacts or villages have been found from this time, and these great cities of Memphis and Luxor did not arise until many years later. The tool-making technology archaeologists is not find a record of millions of years of advancements. These improvements can easily happen within decades after Babel. Same stone tools and different views. Some stone tools and other artifacts from the Ice Age did not come with signs on them telling us their age and significance. Depending on your starting assumptions, you can reach different conclusions if you can start with the very same facts. Consider one example. Everywhere we find earliest known stone tools in Europe, Asia, and Africa, they have simply basic design called the Ingdulian tools. This type of tool appears in most Ice Age layers, and suddenly lots of styles have adopted, such as smaller Macedonian blades associated with Neanderthals. If you believe that the Ice Age lasted 2.6 million years, then you assume that the human beings were making the same basic tools for these 50,000 generations before, and new ideas were invented. The scenarios did not quite fit we know about human ingenuity. God's word gave us a different picture of human history. The earth was only 6,000 years old, and humans lived since here the first week of the Ice Age, were the descendants of Noah's 3 sons, who already know how to build ships and towers and cities. Who would expect people who scattered from Babel share many of the same technological skills? They also live longer than we do, sometimes for centuries, and they could pass down technology to many generations. In fact, this is conceivable that most of the stone tool innovations occurred in a single generation. Noah's son Shem was still alive and Abraham was growing up. Putting it all together, why did people wait so long after Babel to build cities and farm again? Problems included by the tiny populations and threat of skirmishes and changing climates. We also know that the fossil record they had faced constant doing dust storms, supervolcanoes, massive earthquakes, meteorites, and downpours of snow and rain in scale never before seen. It was a bunch of stuff to live off the land and gather wild grains and game as people still do in harsh environments. And the promise was God's supernatural intervention to scatter small groups of families over the face of the earth. The purpose of the judgment, after all, wasn't mankind's ability to do whatever they imagined. It was clearly successful. Big Bone Lake was a stark reminder of the difficult time of its history. The lake was a salt deposit, and it appeared as the ice sheets began retreating. Animals came to the lake, and the salt of the got trapped under boggy ground. Humans arrived an area later at the end of the Ice Age. Their weapons showed up in the fossil record at the same time during the large Ice Age mammals went extinct, around 2100 to 2000 BC. Only later would various cultures begin building pyramid-like mounds and well-defended cities in the Americas, as they did elsewhere in the world. We still have to learn when we know that certain that the Bible sheds the light on parts of the world of respect, including the Ice Age. In fact, it's essential to the right understanding of reality, the extent of modern worries, and the global warming and endangered species because our understanding of the future is built upon a correct understanding of the past. If mankind only take God's word to heart, it would transform our thinking in every area and open amazing new vistas in science and archaeology. And here's a magazine that says right here, what unique conditions will occur to start the Ice Age? Where does it event in the Bible times? Why did the Ice Age mammals grow so big? What happened to them? And also, you can explain God made more species of beetles than any other animal. Can you prove Genesis chapter 3 near the Near Eastern myth? Read the answers of these questions and many more in this issue. Yeah, that's another instance in Genesis magazine. So that's the article about the Ice Age in biblical history. And I was trying to get saved according to the Bible. I think what you need to do, you stupid atheist, is stop limiting God or what He wants to do with animals, and just learn the fact that He is all powerful. Okay? God is the creator of all things. And God can do whatever He wants to His animals. Okay? Okay, they're God's animals. Okay, God made the animals. Okay, so it's God's animals. Okay? And just like God made us, you know. And I was trying to get saved according to the Bible. The point of evolution is to damn souls to hell. The only goal to heaven is to believe all Lord Jesus Christ. Salvation is by faith alone and grace on Jesus Christ alone. And once you're saved by easy believers of the truth, meaning you can't lose your salvation. Once you're saved by easy believers, that salvation is easy. What you have to do is just believe in Jesus Christ for salvation. And how about next video is what does the Bible say about the fire age? Well, I'll do that next video because I go right now. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye. Back, and I think this is a continued show. I was supposed to about the Ice Age, because I want to show you this. Okay, I want to show you something. What I want to show you, because here's the question: was the Earth a snowball? Okay. Well, my answer is well. Okay, because here's pictures. Okay, I want to show you. I don't know, but this is what people at the Earth look like when they believe it was a snowball. Okay. But the question is, was the Earth a snowball? Was the Earth a snowball? Well, my answer is no, I don't think so. I believe the Earth looked like this. It had the Ice Age. So, and I think I already showed you this, but I believe the Earth looked like this when it had the Ice Age. Not this. But anyway, and I know the Earth is a sphere, but I believe the Earth was looking like this when it had the Ice Age. Anyway, that's what I believe anyway. Not a snowball Earth like this. Not a snowball Earth like this. And that's another picture of a snowball Earth as well. I just got two pictures of it. So no, I don't believe the Earth was ever a snowball. I don't believe that. Okay, I believe that the Earth will just look like this when you have the Ice Age. And I believe the Ice Age was caused by the global flood of Noah's day. Okay, and I believe the global flood was caused by the global flood, and I believe that the Ice Age was caused by the global flood of Noah's day. That's what I believe anyway. That's what my belief is anyway. Anyway, all I'm going to talk about next video is so I do believe that the Earth had an ice age, but I don't believe that the Earth was ever a snowball. Ever, no. Next video is what's supposed to say about the fire age. Okay, well, first of all, who to get saved. So, appointed evolutions are damn souls to hell. When you go to heaven, speak of our Lord Jesus. Great salvation is by faith alone and grace on Jesus Christ alone. And once you know the truth, meaning and you can't lose your salvation. By easy grace, that salvation is easy to do. Is just believe in Jesus Christ for salvation. I'm talking about next video is what's about the fire age. I'll talk about the next video. Go right now so you can watch this video. So thank you for watching this video. Be trusted. Bye.